I am Alyssa and welcome to Warp number 4. Today I'm talking about all the games I've played in the past month or so, and there aren't as many as last time, but there are quite a few, so let's get started. The first game I played was Eternity: The Last Unicorn. I reviewed this for The Gaming Outsider. My review is up on their website, which I'll have linked down below, and I talked about this on their podcast as well. But I did not like this game. It just wasn't very well done. It is a Dark Souls-like game, which I did not expect from this. And the graphics are very outdated. They kind of look like a PS2, early PS3, 360 era kind of game. And the controls are not great. The dodge mechanic doesn't feel like dodging. It feels like a little bunny hop. The camera is the worst enemy in the game. It's a fixed camera that stays focused on you, and when it does this, it shifts the perspective, so sometimes enemies are left out of your viewpoint, you get stuck on objects or things in the environment, and it's just such a hassle. I feel so bad for bashing it because you can tell the team put a lot of love into the story because the story is excellent. The loading screens are full of beautiful illustrations, and I love the backstories behind all of the characters and landscapes and creatures in the game. So you can tell they put a lot of love into this game. It's just that it wasn't very well executed in actual gameplay terms. So I feel bad for saying that, but for my full thoughts, read the review on thegamingoutsider.com. But I wouldn't really recommend this to anyone, even if you are looking for a Souls-like game. I would recommend something different than Eternity: The Last Unicorn. But thank you to The Gaming Outsider for providing me with a review code for the game. Okay, now we're going to go on to games I really enjoyed. First up is Life is Strange 2, Episode 3. I can't really talk about this episode much without spoiling the story of Life is Strange 2, but the third episode takes place on a pot farm, and it's just you as the older brother Sean and your brother Daniel trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life, where their journey is going to take them, etc. And to give you a quick summary of the story of Life is Strange 2, you play as, again, older brother Sean, and you're with your younger brother Daniel, and you two are on the run after a tragic event has happened, and you're trying to get to Mexico, but along the way, obstacles come in your way, and Daniel also has powers of a sort. It's nothing like Life is Strange, the original's time mechanic powers, but they are interesting powers, and you do get some nods to the original game in this. Not too many, but a few so far. I will say play The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit before you play Life is Strange 2 because it does tie into the game. You don't have to have played it, but to play it as an extra layer to Life is Strange 2. I really liked the third episode. It felt like a different kind of experience than the first two episodes did, and I'm excited to play the rest of the series, especially after the ending I got in episode 3. Now, one of my favorite games so far of the year has been A Plague Tale: Innocence. This game is stunning, guys, and I have to give a major thank you to Asobo Studio and Focus Home Interactive for providing me with a review code for this game. I wasn't expecting it, but oh boy, am I glad I got it because this game is a masterpiece. You play as a teenage girl named Amicia who has to help her younger brother Hugo, who is really sick, through France in 1348. There is a rat plague going on. The Inquisition is hunting your brother down for nefarious purposes. And you as Amicia have this special talent of being able to really utilize a slingshot to deadly effect sometimes. And you use your slingshot to stealth your way around the environments, to light fires, to attract rats to certain areas, etc. The story is heartbreaking and brutal, but also beautiful and shot through with some hope. So it's not an entirely depressing story, but there are a lot of emotional, grueling moments in the story, which I really appreciated. I love when a story goes deep, when it explores different emotions and how characters react to those emotions. The visuals are absolutely breathtaking. I played this on an Xbox One X on a 4K TV, and it looked like a painting come to life. It was magnificent. This game is just so well done. You can tell Asobo Studio put all of their heart and soul into this project. It's a unique game. It's a hidden gem. It kind of got buried under other projects that came out around the same time, but I highly recommend you play this game if you're looking for a different gaming experience, because this is just such a unique package. If you're looking for a very narratively driven game, if you're looking for a beautiful looking game, a game that is stealth oriented, definitely check out A Plague Tale: Innocence. I cannot speak highly enough of this, and I'm sure it's going to make my top 10 games of 2019 list. It's that good. Again, thank you Asobo Studio and Focus Home Interactive for the review code. You made me a very happy girl. I also played Rage 2, which it was okay. Rage 2 is very repetitive. I did not play the first Rage, so I can't compare the two. But I do really like the fact that Rage 2 is full of color. The landscapes are vibrant. There's a lot of pink, which is my favorite color, so obviously that made me happy. I liked the characters in the game. They were full of personality. They were fun. They were just a blast to interact with. And the weapons felt so good to use. All of the different guns felt weighty and had their own uses. They had their pros and cons. And I like the fact that you could upgrade your weapons, you could upgrade your vehicles, you could upgrade your body with different enhancements you find at ARCs. I really liked all of that. What I wasn't so crazy about was the very repetitive side quests and missions and enemies. You're fighting the same enemies over and over and over again, and you're basically just going through the game, going from one arc to another arc, or fighting one authority sentry and going to another authority sentry. So it is very repetitive. The main storyline does deviate from that repetition, and you do get to do some other missions with the main storyline, but the main storyline is very short. It's about 8 hours long, so you're not getting a lot of different variations with your game, so that's really disappointing. And plus, the driving in the game feels very loose. It doesn't feel like you're really driving, to be honest. It's just very all over the place, and it just didn't feel good to drive. So it's hard to recommend Rage 2 because it feels very average. I mean, if you're looking for a short first-person shooter that has RPG elements, I would say rent it or buy it when it's at a lower price. But for full price, I don't know if I'd recommend buying it because it is very repetitive. But, I mean, the gunplay feels great. Some of the missions are interesting. It is cool to upgrade yourself and your weapons and your vehicles. And I do like most of the characters. It's just the constant do this over and over again, fight this enemy over and over again, kind of weighs the experience down. I also played The Adventures of Bertram, Fiddle, Episode 1, A Dreadly Business. I had to look down to see that whole title, okay? Forgive me. And I have to thank Rumpus Animation and Chorus Worldwide Games for providing me with a review code for this. And this is very much a game in the style of classic point-and-click adventure games such as The Secret of Monkey Island, Double Fine's latest outputs, games like Grim Fandango, etc. Now, this is not my type of game, so I don't think I'll be playing the second episode, but it is very charming. The animation is beautiful. It reminded me of the cartoons I watched growing up as a kid. The humor is spot on. There is literally a character named Lord Arthwipe. It made me laugh every time I heard them say that, or I saw it on the subtitles. And the story itself is interesting. You play as Bertram Fiddle, who is an explorer who tasks himself with finding a serial killer who has slipped through his town, but I'm not crazy about the core gameplay itself. It's just not my cup of tea. Now, like I said, if you're a fan of classic point-and-click adventures, you will love this game. And it looks great on the Xbox One. It just released on there, so if you want to play it and you're not a PC gamer, definitely check it out on Xbox. But for me, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not a big fan of finding objects in the environment to solve puzzles to progress. There are some different diversions in the game that are more interesting and more up my alley, but for the most part, you're finding objects to solve environmental puzzles to progress. But I did really love the story, I loved the humor, the graphics were amazing, and it is a very well done game, and I think you'll really enjoy this again if you like classic point and click adventures. It is very cheap, and I highly recommend it. It's just not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people would love this game, and it hasn't really been talked about, so definitely check it out if you're a fan of those kind of games. And again, thank you Rumpus Animation and Chorus Worldwide Games for the review code. And the last game I want to talk about for this warp is My Friend Pedro, and I am really enjoying this game. It's basically Deadpool meets John Wick in game format. And you're just playing as this man who has a talking banana friend named Pedro, and you go through the levels, which I will admit the level design can be a little repetitive, but it's so much fun to find new ways to slaughter your enemies, and it's just really fun to try to keep your multiplier going, to enable focus so you can go into bullet time mode. It's really fun to be able to do flips and kill enemies that way. And it's just a lot of fun. It's funny. The dialogue between characters and between you and Pedro is really hilarious. And it's a good game just to play in bite-sized chunks, which makes it perfect for playing on the Nintendo Switch, which I'm currently playing on. You can play for about 20 minutes, get your fill, put it down, come back to it for another 20 minutes. And it's a fun time. It is really hard to get higher than a C rating in this game because you do have to keep an eye on your multiplier. But it's so much fun, and it's a good game. I highly recommend it. If you like 2D side-scrolling games, I don't know what to compare this to. It's not really a Metroidvania type of game. It's its own thing. And it's really impressive also that it's made by a one-man team, Dead Toast, so that's really impressive. And Devolver Digital published the game, which they always put out unique, quirky games. But I highly recommend My Friend Pedro. It's not something you can really categorize with anything else, but it's really fun. It's a great stress reliever. You will laugh while playing this game. You'll feel invigorated, and it's a good time. It's just a little fun burst of adrenaline, and it's fun. It's fun. It's really fun. So those are the games I've been playing over the past month or two. Let me know what you've played down below in the comment box. If you've played any of the games I've talked about, let me know what you thought about them. If you like this video, leave a like. Make sure to share the video if you liked it because that helps my channel grow. If you're new here, but you like what you've seen and heard, hit the subscribe button. And even if you aren't new, but you haven't tapped the notification bell, please do so. That helps me out tremendously with the algorithm and helps my videos become seen more often. If you'd like to follow me on social media sites and check out my review on the Gaming Outsider, those links are down below in the description box beneath the video. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!